Hello everybody, it's Kai. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new speed build video. And in today's video we are going to be building and furnishing a house in the world of Mount Komorebi. And Mount Komorebi is the world that came with the Snowy Escape pack, which is, I have to admit, is one of my favorite packs like in the whole franchise. And other than Snowy Escape, I really love Island Living, which is Sulani, the world that comes with it, and also Brindleton Bay from Cats and Dogs. And I think those three worlds are on the top of my list when it comes to building in this game. But anyways, we are going to be building a minimalist Japanese suburban home, and I actually didn't know what to build at first in Mount Komorebi until I went on Pinterest and saw that there are a lot of pins on like anime, and then with that anime there are houses that are suburban. So I decided to try them out because I believe I did use the Snowy Escape pack for building, but I did build more of traditional builds like the Ginzan Onsen inspired build, which is the Japanese tourist plaza, and also the family onsen, I believe, and the Japanese house. I cannot recall, it was such a long time ago. I think it was last year, I'm not so sure. But anyways, I decided to do a minimalist theme and try to incorporate suburban aspects to this house, and I really like the outcome, so I really hope you guys will like it too. If you do like it, the house is already up in the gallery under my ID, which is simmerkhai. And before I talk further about this build, I just want to let you know that I already got a new job, and I might be slow on uploading new videos because I want to be able to adapt first and focus on that, and then comes the Sims. But I really hope at the same time that I can upload videos on time, but I definitely will try my best to produce more content for you guys and produce more builds that maybe you guys can like. But yeah, back to this build. This house is for a family, and I didn't imagine what the family is like. But the number of bedrooms in this house, there are a total of 3 bedrooms. 2 of them are on the top floor, which is the second floor, and the other one is on the ground floor. And when I was building this house, the update, which is the bunk bed update, and also the texture, and I think there are also like different swatches for a picture update. That was the same time I was building this house, so I decided to use the bunk beds in this. I'm pretty happy with the bunk beds update, except that for the lofted beds that they gave us, we couldn't place, or we cannot even place things under it. So I really hope that in the new or in the future upgrade or patch update or something like that, we will be able to place things under it. And I think it's a pretty cool idea if we place under the lofted beds, because it would add more fun to the game, I think, because there are like 2 levels stacked on top of each other and stuff like that. But anyways, back to this build. I'm sorry I got carried away with the update thing. Even though I enjoyed the update, I have to admit I really like it, but I didn't really focus a lot on the like clothing and hair that they offered. I think there are some like improved textures. I heard of it, I'm not so sure, but I didn't really test it out, so I'm planning to maybe soon. But yeah, that's enough about the update. But anyways, you can see that I'm working on the backyard over here, and for the backyard I think I will end up furnishing it the last, and this is only the part where I put some debug items. But yeah, and also put a lot of like debug items simply because I wanted to make it look more like decorated. But for the debug items, I think all of them I used are from base game and also Snowy Escape only. But for the bathtub over here, you see that is from the Perfect Patio Stuff Pack, and initially I wanted to build only a base game and Snowy Escape build, but unfortunately I wanted to use the hot tub over here because if I were to put like the onsen or hot springs, it wouldn't make sense because it is a suburban home. So I decided to use other packs in this build as well, which include the Perfect Patio pack for this hot tub. So that's why I ended up like using other packs. Yeah. But anyways, for the backyard, I'm pretty happy with it. I end up adding a small lounge area over here, which you will see in the end of the video, I think. Hopefully if I don't crop it out. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the backyard because it is very nice. I think it's very nice looking, and it also gives me like kind of spa vibes because of the stacked plant pots from the debug menu. But anyways, we are moving on to the interior right now, and the entryway was quite huge for me to furnish, so like I didn't really know what to put in here, except that I realized that I never used that painting before from the seasons pack, so I decided to just put it in here just to cover up. There is this kind of like section of the stairs where it's sticking out, so I decided to cover it up with that painting, and I think it looks fine. But then for the common areas, which are the living room, the kitchen, and so on, for the living room I tried to put in a platform. Over here you can see where I put it like an elevated fireplace, and I imagine that this fireplace is where your Sims just hang out by the fire and just get warmed up and stuff like that, while at the same time they can watch TV in the living room. So I thought that was a really cool idea for me to use the platform tool to do so, because also there was a lot of space for the living room, and the space was kind of awkward for me in the sense that it is kind of this L-shaped space. So I decided to put in a platform and just make it like kind of squarish for me to put in the sofas and stuff like that, so it made it like quite easier for me to furnish it. And then I just clutter it up really well with a lot of plants, and also a side table over here from the cats and dogs pack. But I think I did mention the number of bedrooms. There are again 2 bedrooms upstairs and 1 bedroom downstairs. For the upstairs bedroom, I tried to utilize the bunk bed pretty well in that, but I'm not so sure if it's functional, but we'll talk about that later when it comes to the time when I furnish it. But anyways, over here is going to be the dining table, and for the dining table, as you can see, it is the only section of the house where I use those special kind of floor tiling that came with the Snowy Escape pack, and I didn't want to use like just normal wood because I wanted to put in some like Japanese inspired elements in here. So I decided to use the flooring there, and I initially wanted to use the kotatsu table. That is the table that is a floor table and you can put your feet underneath it, but I didn't end up doing so because I figured that this is a more modern type of Japanese home, and it is also minimalist and also suburban. It is kind of like Western inspired, but it is not. But anyways, over here is going to be the kitchen, and the kitchen is kind of isolated from the dining room, and it is like covered with the door, because I figured that for the dining room I thought that there would be a lot more, it would make sense for me to imagine that there would be a lot more privacy for the family, instead of like smelling the food and like talking at the same time. Smelling the food from the kitchen is kind of weird, so I figured that I just put a barrier over there with a door, and I'm not sure what that door is called, but I think it is kind of made of canvas and then you can like slide it open. But I always see it in like Japanese shows and Japanese cartoons. And for the kitchen also, I just decided to clutter it up, like for the shelves, especially down there on the counter. At first I wanted to cover them up because they kind of looked too like threatening for me, in a sense that there is too many space for me to clutter. But in the end I decided, you know what, let's just clutter it up because it would look nicer that way, I guess. But also at the same time I didn't clutter it up with a lot of stuff because I figured that it would look too like cramped and look too cluttered. So I just thought that I should clutter it up with like the perfect amount of clutter. You get what I mean? But also in the dining room, the kitchen, I also ended up adding a broom in here and left that part just now off the wall empty because I didn't know what to put in here. But anyways, for the the kitchen and also the bathroom, they have the same wallpaper and floor tiling because I thought that it would be easier for me to do so. And this part over here that we're working on is going to be the downstairs bedroom, which I imagine belongs to like a teenager or young adult, but also at the same time it can be a guest bedroom. So for the number of Sims living here, I think I can say about 4 to 5 Sims. But you can always switch it around. You can always just leave this bedroom empty if you want to, and yeah, just make space for an extra sim if you want to. But for the guest bedroom, quote unquote, it is pretty simple. I use the wardrobe from the Get Famous pack, which is kind of like mid-century vibes to it. I think it looked perfect for this kind of setup because of all the colors, and I made sure that I used the kind of different shades of brown so that it looks kind of like very naturally and just very like aesthetically pleasing, like Muji style. I'm not sure if you guys know Muji. It is a concept store with a lot of like furniture, stuff like that, and I think it's a Japanese company if I'm not mistaken. But the items over there, oh my god, they are quite expensive, but they are quite nice, I think, in my opinion. But anyways, as you can see, I'm working on the room which has the bunk bed in it, and at first I was testing it to see if I put a like table underneath it, was it like accessible or not. When I turned the move objects sheet off, and it wasn't, and I was pretty disappointed by that because I couldn't do so. But in the end, I put in like a wardrobe under the bed because I just wanted to make it look nice, because I don't really like to leave things empty when it comes to building. So I decided to put in the wardrobe, but I'm not sure if it's functional because I haven't play tested this build, unfortunately. But if it's not functional, you just have to remove the wardrobe if you want to make the bed accessible. And I figured that this room also belongs to a young adult or a student sim who really likes pink and blues, and also likes music. And I really like the corner over there where I put in a sofa and also a guitar because it looks cozy in my opinion. But as you can see, I played around with this wardrobe over here, adding some clutter, and also the cloud mirror that came with the birthday update, which is very, very cute. And also for the decorations, I basically put some basic wall art, which also is updated in the latest patch, which has that kind of Asian looking sim, which is very, very pretty with some sakura in her hair. So I thought it gave a perfect look for this house since it's in Mount Komorebi. And the bedrooms upstairs share a common bath over here, which I end up replacing that counter with a washing machine because I will be putting a clothesline on the balcony in the front of the house. I'm not sure if we skipped it or not. Okay, it's not there yet, so I haven't shown it to you guys, but I thought that I put the clothesline on the balcony because when I saw on Pinterest for inspiration, there were a lot of houses that had like clothesline on in the front of their houses. And also, like, talking about clothesline, I think if I'm not mistaken, especially like small apartments in Japan, especially in like Tokyo and stuff like that, they hang their clothes on their balcony using a clothing line, which is kind of like metal, I think, which they can pull out, and then when they're done they just like drag it and then it goes back to its place. Yeah, I think I got influenced by that, so I decided to put the clothesline like at the balcony just now. And over here is going to be the master bedroom, which is kind of spacious. I ended up putting this shelf because I thought that it looked perfect with the other wood textures that this room had, which is the bed and also the wardrobe that came with the Snow Escape pack. I think a lot of this furniture in this bedroom especially only is from the Snow Escape, except I think I will be putting a bookshelf over here, yeah, which is not from Snowy Escape. I think it is from kids room stuff. I might be wrong, but I rarely use this shelf and so I don't know where it's from. And also added in a like cozy chair over in this corner because I wanted to make it look more lived in and look more cozy. And also the bedroom has 2 patios, which is, I think, kind of selfish for a couple of Sims to do that, but yeah, they have 2 not patios, I meant balconies. But anyways, this last part over here is going to be me furnishing the back part of the house, which is the backyard, and it's quite very nice in my opinion because I put in just a simple umbrella table and also a cozy lounge corner over on the left side, I think. But yeah, anyways, I really hope you guys will like this video. Unfortunately, we have reached the end of the video, so if you do like it, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!